Hey guys. Oh, look, Cedric is live on a plane. Cedric, you coming to Vegas with me, buddy, for this women's basketball tournament on my birthday?
You're asking a man using plain Wi-Fi. Okay, yeah, that
He's
works.
coming.
Thumbs up.
Ced's coming. Yeah, buddy. All right, let's do this. Welcome to the Illuminati Film Room. Collin Sherwin alongside Robert Steeg. Steeg and I have a red stripe because no worries, man. It's all right. We're not going to a ball game. Seth is drinking water
Hooray,
because
beer.
he has children. We are live here in Tampa, and Cedric is going straight to the good stuff. He has frequent flyer miles. I'm going to bet he's in first class. So here we go. This is really bad. Robert, you and I both have a candle here. Let's get our candles. Get your candle out, buddy. Okay, here we go. What do you have there? You got like something like very fancy in Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, it's got essential oils in it because I care about my body.
Yeah, okay. I shop local, so this is from 7th Avenue Apothecary in Ybor. It is a spiced rum and coconut candle, by the way. If you're looking, and they're not even paying us to plug them, I'm just going to do it for free. 7th Avenue Apothecary makes like the most amazing candles. They'll have pop-up shops. They've got a pop-up shop at Hyde Park Village over the holidays. They're wonderful. I'm a huge fan. I buy these every year. But Robert, to the Bulls' hopes in 2019. Okay, moving on.
And also,
All right,
wow, that was disgusting season.
that's fair. So, Seth, I had one of my dearest friends in the world fly in before the game and send me a picture from the hotel that's like a block and a half from my house and say, "Hey, you going to the football game today?" So she like randomly flew in, which was like so sweet. And she came to the game with me, and like so we were hanging out with her and her boyfriend, and we were so I was like trying to watch USF on offense and not as much on defense in the first half. And then in the second half, I was up in a suite and I got a little bit better view. But in all aspects and facets of the game, which I'm not going to lie, I have not gone back and watched or anything because why would I spend extra time on USF football when I don't have to at this point? I was just appalled at the effort level of the things that like it looked like things were schemed up okay, and then just guys couldn't make plays in space and or like missed a tackle, and Jordan looked completely incompetent. We threw for I believe it was 44 yards passing in a college football game in 2019, which is atrocious and disgusting. I understand that Kerwin Bell said today that Jordan's thumb is really bad and hurt, and I agree with that. But guess what? If his thumb is really bad and hurt, and Rigel, okay, yeah, I get it. Like yeah, the Rigel thing didn't really work out either. But like that's on USF at this point, and it seems really bad. So why am I spending a good amount of money besides the fun and fellowship with my friends to be on a chartered bus to go to Oviedo on Friday and watch us get our brains pushed in by a team that I dislike very much because we have no chance of winning this game, correct?
That's a loaded question. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think, you know, I mean, it's really just, it comes down to poor life choices by you. But
Buddy, I went to the University of South Florida and decided to root for the athletics teams. I have made plenty of life choices that are terrible.
But it's just a sequence of events that's led you here. No, I think, and Steeg and I kind of talked about it before the Memphis game. We both I thought that they were going to get mauled just because Memphis is really, really good on offense. And I didn't think it'd be a great matchup for what they do schematically, offensively for the USF defense. I think this week is a better matchup for USF. But they're still, UCF's obviously still very good on both sides of the ball. But I think schematically they match up better this week. So you can feel a little bit better about that.
So here's the thing. I've watched enough of our friends down the street this year to say that I don't think their defense has been very good. Gabriel Davis terrifies me. You know,
they're statistically really good on defense, but they've played some really bad offenses. So I don't know if that's they're part of it. Or because they're really good yards per play. But yeah,
Yeah,
they played.
but they don't play anybody because that's the same thing that they do every year is that they don't ever
Yeah,
want to play anybody.
they're the average offense they played this year, and this will be my preview. But the average offense they played this year is 85th. Their average is 85th in yards per play, so they haven't played very good offenses. Like Pitt,
They play a
who they
cupcake out of
lost to,
conference schedule. They play a
Pitt,
cupcake
who
out of
they
conference, and
lost,
ECU and
yeah,
UConn.
Pitt, who they lost to, was like 107th or something like that in yards per play. Tulsa's like 111th. Yeah, so I think there's your Memphis. I think is a superior team, obviously based on record, but I think just even just kind of watching them and getting ready for a game last week, and as we go through the stuff here, there's some stuff that they had some opportunities to make some plays, but then Memphis also early they kind of figured out that okay, we can just play really downhill on defense and press and force them to try to throw the ball or run into a loaded box, and nobody's going to be able to get separation. So not a great matchup. And so if you guys want, we can go ahead and get started looking at it.
Rise and
I would
fire.
love
So we're going to
nothing
try to
more.
so we're going to try to keep this a little bit shorter than we normally do because we're going to try and merge in our friends at the Black and Gold Banneret podcast as well for later this evening and do some other stuff too. So we're going to try and get all of this banged out at once because it is a short week and we have the holiday on Thursday. So we're going to try and keep this as tight as we can. So rise and fire, Seth. Show us the carnage.
All right, so we'll start on the defensive side of the ball where we had some good things, right? The turnovers, kind of splash plays, and they made some tackles behind the line of scrimmage, but then they really got mauled. And what worries me about this upcoming game is they've had trouble all year with tempo, and they're going to see a ton of tempo this week. But
no team I've seen in America moves fast. No team in America not only moves faster than UCF, but seems to do it with. They seem to like hurry to the line, exactly wait that 1 second. And this was under Frost and under Heupel. They're so good at lining up quickly and not doing it where they get penalties either. Like they're just so efficient at it. I think it's their most underrated skill.
And that has really been a problem all year for USF. It really kind of reared its head initially against SMU. They kind of had problems with it before, but they didn't see a lot of really high tempo. But once SMU came into town, they really weren't prepared for the tempo, which was shocking, kind of with what they practice against. But it hasn't really gotten better. But so we'll see here. We're kind of going to start with a couple of just like missed opportunities for the defense. So here's a 4th and 2. The score is 7-0 right now. Memphis is coming down to tie up the game. But here you have a 4th and 2, and they're going to just run a shovel pass here. You're going to have a couple guys in the area to make the play for a loss. And the Memphis back, I think this is Gibson, shakes the tackle. You got the pulling guard coming for him. But this is Greer. He does a good job of recognizing what it is. And you'll see he gets downhill here. And he's in position to make a tackle for a loss right here and give USF the ball back. Misses the tackle, and then Gibson's able to sneak forward for the 2 yards needed for a first down. So just kind of, you're in position. You did a good job recognizing, but you just kind of missed. And then that guy's a freak of nature and can balance on one leg and still get forward for 2 yards.
Are they kind of optioning off of him a little bit there? On the
I'm sorry, they're gonna down.
Are they
block.
optioning off the? Yeah.
Well, I think they were anticipating a 4-man front, and Slade. It's kind of a 4-man front, but they're kind of really Slade just jumps inside here, and so he's going to come around for him, and there's really nobody to pitch off of. A lot of times they'll have this guy trail. If the end widens out, I'll pitch it. If the end squeezes down, then I just pitch it out to my back or I keep it. I think this was a pitch all the way. And you have Slade get off his block, and you have Greer there. And right here, you got 2 guys that look like they're going to be able to make the play here. And then he avoids them. and gets 2 yards. So it was kind of, even when they had opportunities to make plays. So here's another one. Last play of the quarter here. It's an untimed down. Hand off to Gainwell. 1st and 10. Here's Stud still coming up, feeling really well. I mean, everything's perfect up to here. You don't wrap up. And then he takes it down inside the 25, when you could have had him down for, I don't know, like a 3-yard gain. And now you do everything perfect. This is a great job fitting. Back bounces right to him. He fits in there, but just can't make the play there.
Just out athleted on both plays, right?
I was about to say, I think that's more on Patrick Taylor just being a grown ass man more than
this one's Gainwell here.
Oh, that's Gainwell?
They had a lot of those guys though. So
yeah.
You can forgive the confusion, but yes.
Yeah, I will. Last year's guy Henderson. I know Seth, you weren't as much around last year. Last year's guy Henderson was the best back in the league, in the history of the league. He was unbelievable.
Darrell Henderson scores a touchdown there, by the way. Just tossing that out
there. So I'm thinking Gainwell is like a little dinged up because he didn't really break away very, very well, like I thought he might be able to. So here's a third and 11. So far you've gotten off the field on all third downs. This is one where it looks like they're going to play like 3 deep. They have Nick Roberts squatting here because I think that they're anticipating the play call here. They're going to run kind of a speed in almost. And then these guys are going to run a wheel on either side. So they're kind of going to try to hit this hole. They're going to try to widen him with the flat and then hit this hole here. But see, Nick Roberts is sitting in the hole on this side. I believe what's supposed to happen here, especially 3rd and 11, is this is Greer. He's supposed to get back to the hash to get underneath this throw, and he kind of gets caught peeking at Gainwell coming out of the backfield. The only reason I say that is because you see, now first of all, these guys throw with great timing. So he's hitting his last step and the ball's out. But you can kind of see at the end of the play, Nick Roberts just kind of look at him like, hey, dude, like, get to your spot. So I think he was supposed to kind of drop into this hole right here, kind of anticipating that dig. You see how Roberts is sitting. If he throws that, he can jump that. So this was kind of a problem that happened a couple of times for USF where this guy got taken out of the flat and this guy here didn't get there on this little dig coming back inside. So you see here.
First of all, Nick Roberts is defense. Yeah, so first of all, Nick Roberts is defensive leader. I really wish Nate was here right now because that's hilarious. And secondly, can we go back to that real quick before we? So, okay, so if Nick is pinching here, and they're basically running the same coverage to both sides, so I understand you've got to have somebody deep.
Like, they show like too high, but he's going to roll into play like it's cover 3 really, where you got 3 deep. Then you have 4 guys on.
Why are you running the different coverage to the and I understand one's to the boundary and one's to the field, but like why are you playing different coverage to both sides of the field there?
It's the same. It's just he's basically, instead of people will play it differently, where sometimes they'll roll the safety. A lot of times you see the safety roll down over number 2 and kind of take the flat, and then you have a linebacker working hook curl here. They just kind of, but then there's also, you can invert it. So it just looks to me like cover 3. So these guys 3 deep. He's going to be the flat player here. He's the flat player here. He'll come down to be hook curl, and now he's got to get hook curl there.
Okay, so you're just bringing you're bringing the same coverage, but from personnel located in different places.
Yeah, it's cover 3, but instead of him playing linebacker or playing up here, we'll just roll him down, just so I show you too high at the snap, and maybe if I show you too high at the snap, I can confuse you. So this is they try to bring a little disguise, and it's just that, and I feel like he's kind of sitting waiting for this dig, and I'm sure that's something they work because they showed that on film. And I mean, the quarterback, this is a good throw. He fits it in there, and the timing is really good. But, if he's kind of plays it out a little bit more and he kind of gets there a little bit earlier and just rallies to the back to tackle, maybe he picks this one off. If he's here instead of there, which is like 2 steps, now he's in position. And you'll see the same thing kind of happens here where they have what looks like a rush. You got rushers, and then these guys are going to drop, and they're going to play kind of the same coverage. But both guys, there's confusion on who's the flat player. They both run.
Is this the second and 38 that turned into 3rd and 18 that became a touchdown?
This is 3rd and 18. Yeah, this is 3rd and 18.
And it was 2nd and 38 here before this, right?
Yes. So this is the 3rd and 18. So to me, it looks like the same coverage and the same bus. You don't get a guy to the. Now this is a little bit different because I think they're playing some kind of a different kind of coverage up top. But regardless, you end up with 2 guys. So the confusion is you end up with 2 guys on him. And I'd imagine there'd be somebody like him right here on this. There's supposed to be somebody like him on this side. So you see how he's kind of running back underneath? One of these guys is supposed to be there on this side of the field, but there's nobody there. You got 2 on him. So somebody messed up. I think this is Reeves and this is Boyle. So somebody just messed up. And then you miss a tackle and he goes.
I was about to say, because when I watched that live, it definitely seemed like it was a blown coverage, and I'm going to bet that it was Bowles just based off of the reaction that I saw coming off the sideline. BJ went straight to him. So
it could have been he runs with him, and then now he's kind of doing the same thing that I believe that's Mims there is doing. So Mims is kind of you see Mims has kind of got it controlled up top there. If you would have had the other backer here, well, that takes that throw away. So just kind of a bust, but then you see here it's kind of catches them late. But here they kind of execute it more how they want to, where you kind of have these guys. So this is later in the game. They've kind of like, hey guys, and they kind of got it figured out a little bit, and they kind of fixed it, where you can kind of take those in breaking routes away, and then you force the quarterback to run, and then you give up 3 yards. Where if it's 3rd and 11 and you gave up that 3 or 4 yard run, well, now you're off the field. So kind of stuff like that, where they know how to play it. They just played it poorly a couple times. And so here's what kind of Memphis did a lot. And when they went fast initially, they didn't adjust to it. They adjusted later. It just didn't matter. They just kind of mashed them. But so here's your 5-0 lineman. You got a tight end here. And then you got, 1, 2, 3 receivers and your tailbacks back here. So they've overloaded this side. So they've got 4 guys. It's really almost like it's the same concept as like a tackle over type play, but they just put, not only is it overloaded, but now it's into the boundary too. So they're really going to see how you adjust. I'm sure they have some type of reverse or something coming back this way to the field off of it. But first, they scored a couple times like this, and this is something that gave them problems, especially when you're going really fast, to adjust to. So right here, if I just do the line from the tight end, I got the tight end and my 3 receivers. That's 4 guys to block. You've only got 4 guys out there. I'm going to toss the ball to the tailback. You don't have enough people. And then if I break tackles and run through people, that helps too. So that was something they got.
Is that a scheme problem by BJ, or is this
This is tough. They come back to it. I don't know if I put it on here or not, but later they come back to a similar look and they have it. So this is something they might have just broken out going fast that you're not expecting to see. It's just like a funky formation that when somebody goes fast, the only way you can adjust to it is these guys have seen it a lot, or you call timeout. They showed some 4 guys, but not quite like this. So this is like 4 and then a tight bunch here too. So they have rules, I'm sure, for how they play bunch. So now you got a bunch and a tight end on the same side. It kind of makes things strange. Because it's hard to say. You know, a lot of times maybe I'm a defensive lineman. Okay, I'm looking. Okay, all I see is I got a tight end here. You know, I may not be looking to see. Okay, and I got a tight end, and I got a and I got a bunch right here. You know, so you know the strength is definitely over here, and it can kind of give you problems. And then when they're going fast, it's really hard to adjust to. So that's kind of, and they get them later. They have it. They adjust to it, and they have the guys over there. But that's something they were able to come to a lot, and they kept pulling guards and running like a G scheme, pulling the front side guard. They'd run. I think they even might have pulled the backside guard a few times, but it was mostly looked like it was just pulling the front side guard. So now I'm pulling an extra guy over there too. So that's a tough thing to defend, especially if they go fast, because you got to get over there quickly. And now they're pulling people, and then they got good running backs that can run downhill. So that was something that gave them a lot of problems. But there was some good stuff. So here's the interception.
Where's he throwing the ball there? I mean, we show blitz. So USF shows huge blitz here.
So it looks like man, especially once you see the motion. Right. Up in the press box, I said to Nate, I said they're going to go right here, just because there was no safety over the top, and you know everybody loves to run slot fade just because all the room. And I think that's what he's going to. And this is Bentley Sanders. He does a really good job here. So he sees the motion. He's thinking it's man, and it looks like cover zero. Bentley Sanders does a good job of kind of maybe getting away with a hold, but I think Sales just saw that. Maybe he saw that, hey, that's where they're going to try to go, because his receiver runs like a shorter route over here. I'm pretty sure. So he just comes off the route, and the ball ends up being thrown right to him.
So here's my tweet. Here's my tweet after this play from the stands, and I'm on about the 30-yard line here on the opposite side of the field from the camera. And I said, guys, I'm not going to lie, I'm half pay attention, but are we just going to play two high halves all day? And didn't Bentley Sanders just basically drop kick a wide receiver on KJ's INT? So yeah, it even looks like a hold enough from the stands where I noticed it, and I was only sort of half paying attention.
Yeah, I'm surprised they let it go, but
yeah, the receiver kind of fell. It looked like more than anything.
I think he got hands extended though. Come on, man.
It is, but I think there's a little tug. I think there's a little tug right there, but then he lets him go, and the guy falls more of his own volition. But he definitely kind of pulled him.
Yeah, the Memphis Film Room.
It could have been another. It could have been another thing that the ball was so poorly thrown that the ref was like,
yeah, let it go. I think the Memphis Film Room is going to have a different take on that play than we do.
No, absolutely not.
If that's me, I'm calling a hold. I'm screaming for a hold there. But you get away with it. So
refs never get anything wrong, so I don't know why they would try to think that other thing happened.
Yeah, it's not like USF has had has lost 2 games based on basically a single decision by the referee, and both games they'd be bowl eligible. Not like that's had an impact or anything.
Oh, settle down! Come on, man. Look at this team.
He's not wrong though.
Georgia Tech and Cincinnati. If you take away, if you give Kronk the touchdown, the goal line, and the interference,
he's not wrong. What you are. This team, and let's not talk about the breaks too. BYU gave the game away in Ray J. I'm sorry, they gave that away. So it works both ways over the. I think
I think over the course of the season it evens out. But those are 2 games that you probably should have won if maybe one thing goes differently, which is tough, especially when you're fighting for your job.
Fair.
Yeah, two calls to go against you that if they went for you might have resulted in 2 wins. That's tough. Okay, so here I believe they're probably expecting man. This is a great play if you run a lot of bootleg. We'll kind of run him over. You fake here, then you run him on the wheel. Everybody else kind of runs their normal boot stuff. So if you run a lot of bootleg where you're rolling out, you'll get this guy screaming a lot. He did a pretty good job right here of fighting with the receiver. You want this receiver just to release inside and go. They may have him kind of fight with him just to hold his eyes so he doesn't see the back, but he doesn't really help himself. He gets inside. and they're not playing mans, because you'll see him kind of slow down and squat, and you have the safety over the top for it.
Okay, but if they're playing zone, Seth, somebody's got to cover the wheel there. I mean, if so it's zone concept, that's fine.
Yeah. So they thought they were going to get man, and then they didn't. So he throws this anyways, because he's like, I guarantee every time they ran this in practice, there was a wide open touchdown. So he's like, I'm throwing it. And so, I think he may think that he's going to be in his hip pocket and trail it, but he comes off, and you see the safeties looking to overtake him.
He just doesn't see that safety there.
And and makes a good jump on the ball.
Right.
So that's
true freshman Daquan Evans, by the way.
There you go. That's some of the good stuff. I'm pretty sure like KJ Sales was in the bathroom or something. Because he was on the field the next drive, right? Because we were like, is he hurt? And you're like, he's not on the sidelines. Seth messaged me
in the middle of the game and was like, hey, do you see KJ? And I was like, no, he's on the field. And then I looked on the field and he wasn't there. And I was like, that's weird. And I looked up and Daquan Evans had that pick. He's like, do you see where KJ is? I was like, might be taking a shit. Maybe.
He must have. Because he made the pick, and then the next drive, he's not on the field. I'm like, this is an odd stand to make right here, as a coaching staff, but I was like, he must be hurt. And then he was on the field to drive later, so I was like, well, maybe he had to go to the bathroom or something. He said after the game he was sick, so maybe, who knows. All right, so now we'll get to the offensive side of the ball. First drive. So you're going to have kind of a shorter hitch, and then a longer hitch. When people play off, good throw. They do bring a blitz, and the protection's pretty good here.
Seth, are you going to show we had 44 yards of passing offense? Are we going to show all 44 yards here? Where's
that was a tenth of it?
What is it? That's 6. They got 6 here. That's what are you talking about? That's 8. What are you talking about? Come on. That is 1/6 of USF passing offense in one play.
That might be a quarter. All right, so then here's the very next play. It's second and short. They're just going to run power. So down, kick out, guard pulling. They end up kind of later in the game.
This is a Sterling Gilbert. For our friends that were here last year, this is a Sterling Gilbert standard play.
This is power. Everyone loves power.
Yeah, everybody.
O-line coaches. O-line coaches call it. A lot of O-line coaches call it God's play. They say it's the perfect.
Atterbury pulls.
The perfect play.
Yeah,
and then you make the safety miss.
Go.
And you go for a big run. And Steeg got a great picture of the block right there.
How about it?
Yeah, I thought St. Felix threw it was a fantastic block. He just threw his hands up right when he did it, and it looks like he's calling for the touchdown. Just the back of the head looks really.
If Billy Atterbury is apologizing for his play on Twitter, which he did this week, he doesn't need to on this play because look at this.
This is about perfect for everybody right here. The double team right here, getting up to this backer. I mean, this is really good. And then Joyner kind of sets the safety up by kind of really pressing here. I don't know where the safety's going, but then he cuts back inside and then is able to squeeze through that crease there. Because he's got some speed and he's got a little wiggle, which is desperately needed on this team.
Kid's a player. So, he's absolutely there are guys this year that you can, in this sort of lost season where you can go, this guy's not going to really be able to help us in the long run. Kelly Joyner's not one of those guys. Kelly Joyner's going to be a factor for USF going forward.
Yeah, and he fits too. So this is a touchdown run. It's basically just split zone, but you add in the jet sweep look. So you make the kick out easier because you're going to widen that guy. But then you also get play that way because you have two guys going this way, and then you're just running inside zone behind it, basically. So it opens up a big hole. And good movement by the left guard and left tackle here. We get to it late, but they're working a double team again right there. Working a double team again.
All right, when we getting into when are we getting into the trash? Like this is how it's supposed to look.
No, actually, the game
other 50
ended right
minutes
after
of
that.
Garbage.
The game ended right after that. Actually,
we're going in chronological order here, Colin. So, second. So don't worry, it's coming. So here's 2nd and 7 after the KJ Sales interception. You run power on first down, you get 3. Here's 2nd down, taking a shot at the end zone, one-on-one coverage. You know, this isn't a perfect pass, but this is pretty good. This is a play that's got to be made. You know.
But is this Jordan's skill set throwing that ball there? Is this what, like, I mean, he's got a pocket here, and did they send 5 there? How many did they send there?
Yeah, they sent
a
6. Guy. It was straight man coverage.
Yeah, so he had a man on the back. So he picks it up, but like Jordan doesn't tend to step into these touch throws very well. And I think we've seen that consistently this season. Is that watch? I understand you know you don't need to fire it in there, but like look at his. Is his?
It's not a perfect throw. It's not a perfect throw, but do the Memphis receivers catch that?
Yes, every single one.
Oh, because they're better players. Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, but I mean, do the UCF receivers catch that? Yeah, like so, it's a play that could be made.
Davis catches that 98 times out of 100.
Yeah, so it's a play. I mean, is it a perfect throw? No, but it's definitely a catchable ball. You'll see when we do the UCF preview that there are guys running and catching like balls back shouldered on slants that are a little bit inaccurate, and they're catching it and not even breaking stride, where it's not a greatly placed ball, but they catch it and then break a tackle and score a touchdown. So, you know. Now this next one is not a great ball. You also get a little hold here, so this is kind of a tit for tat here with the Bentley Sanders no call. You kind of get it back here a little bit. So he's going to release inside. He's going to, because this is one of their favorite kind of third and mediums, is the speed out, and then he's going to run a wheel. He's going to actually get leverage. He's come in motion as well. This play got started late. He's going to come down to jump the speed out, get caught, hold a little bit. You still end up winning, and then the throw, you know, it could be better, obviously. And I think if he had held, it still might have been a little long if they wouldn't have got held. But this is another one that you could fit in there. So right here, he's got him beat. There's space to fit this ball in. Because he jumps the out here. So he jumps the speed out, and then he gets inside of him. There's some space for that ball, but falls harmlessly to the turf for Memphis. Now this is kind of you can kind of see what they tried to do to account for the pass rush and the pass protection. They had to keep 7 guys in to block, and I think they kind of mess up this turn protection here, the tight end in the back, because Memphis always has a guy standing up to the boundary, so this guy is their defensive end just standing up. So you kind of probably should have been ready for him to come off the edge there. It's not like a linebacker, so they get him in the end. But again, there's one there. You know,
if this play develops more, like, okay, so let's see where you could go, because they've got. All right, so is that's RSF running to the pylon there on the high side.
You may have he may be trying to curl up here, and it's like curl flat, and they're fading up top just because it's a 3-man. It's only a 3-man route because you got to protect. That's kind of that limits
pick it up.
A little bit.
So if you've got a 3-man route, you're in max protect. You got to pick it up and give them more time to let the route develop.
Yes, I mean that. Yeah. So you get beat here.
Story of the season.
Then they mess up the turn here. They shouldn't. This is guys always they stand up their defense into the boundary. They knew that. These guys just kind of, for some reason, he jumped in the slide, but that's an end. You don't slide past the end. But it was still more of the backside pressure they got there. But you have a chance. So here's. Oh, this one jumped ahead. This was in the second half, but again, this is when Memphis did this, when they kind of played off. and let him just take 3 steps and throw to a guy that was, coming back to the ball. Because again, you have one here, one there. So if it's a flat player, he's got to choose. Memphis did this to start the first half, and this is the start of the second half. And they were basically after that was like, you know what, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to play up in your face and force the receiver to get separation. And this is not a great, super clean pocket, but it's clean enough for him to step into the throw.
All right, so we've watched like 80% of the positive plays so far. Can we get to the trash, please? Like, can we get to the bad football?
It's coming. Don't worry. So here is it's coming very soon. Actually, yeah. We got to show stuff that was done well. So toss read again. We showed that where I can toss it here, where I got the guard pulling here, and I'm kind of reading this guy. He goes with it. I can keep it. This picks up 8 yards. I think on 2nd and 9, and then Joyner converts the next play. So then we're here. We're first down. This is after the second interception. So again, we're having to keep in 7 to protect. Which isn't great. Plenty of time. Quarterback rolls out.
Didn't Mathis go out in the pattern there? Am I crazy?
Yeah, but you got a back and him here. So they'll go. These two will go out. Yeah, and then
I got you. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
But these are kind of when they're the big number that's going out is like the low passing yards. But there were about there were 3 or 4 of these. And there's probably 3 or 4 of them on third downs here where it hits the guy in the hands and he drops it. He's bobbling it like a cat with a ball of yarn kind of coming back to it there. And then it gets knocked out. So here you kind of have decent protection, but it's still when you can only put 3 guys on the route, it's going to be tough, especially if they're not blitzing. So getting nothing on first down. So second down, try to run little counter. So the idea is down, 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 down. I'm pretty sure they're pulling the guard and the tight end. So you want this guard to be kicking out this end, kick him out, and now you're wrapping for whoever comes here because you've gotten these guys out of the box. So right now, on this side of the ball, he's kind of right in the middle. So you have basically, let's say to this side of the center, it's 2 on 3 right now. If you include the center, it's 3 on 3. But now I'm pulling 2 guys, so you should have a good advantage here. What happens is a slant. Instead of going down, if your rule is down, just go down. He's going to slant here. He's thinking that I got this guy instead of maybe I got my rule, which is down. And then if he goes down, then he should pick up the slanting guy. And if he goes down, he's going to pick up this linebacker that's blitzing. Instead, he kind of gets caught up on his guy instead of going down. And now the puller gets to the end, but now the guard is turning back and your H-back is having to turn to this blitzing linebacker, whereas he could be coming through here and lead blocking. And your back just has to get vertical and get what he can. But right here,
it's week 11. This is your 11th game of the season. There are no freshmen on the field at this point because it's week 11. How are you still having these kind of communication issues where, look at this. Like,
is that Hopple or Atterbury?
That's I think that's Atterbury. It's a guard. So if he's just down right away and he's down and it's just like, which I'm sure they drill a ton, you got the kick and then he can follow and maybe, if you get your back, your idea is I want to get my back into all this space right here. Yeah. There's nobody there. I'll get him there with a lead blocker is what the idea is. But you get the run through, and when you have run through and guys pulling, it's tough.
You know what? Right it's Kerwin Bell's fault. This is too complicated for them.
Yeah, down.
It's not. But no, it's not even about complicated though. It's like
I'm being facetious, by the way.
No, obviously. I mean, sorry, I should have made that more clear. Like, I mean, but like here, you're in week 11 at this point, okay?
Yeah.
And how can you have 7 guys, because you count Wilcox because he's coming around. You have 7 guys to block 4, and then there's 3 at the second level, but you have 7 to block 4 here just on the initial push. How can you not get past the initial push is my question. Like if you can't get to guys at the second level, if you can't reach, I get that. I understand. And look, the mic comes down here and just like runs free.
It's just sometimes you think you get this look so much you start thinking I got him instead of my rule is I'm down. My rule is I'm down. So if he leaves me, okay, my rule is down. My rule is not a man, it's a gap, right? These are gap run plays. So it's sometimes you just get inside your own head and you just don't follow your rule. And when you don't follow your rule, there's a reason there are rules, right? So that's
they're meant to be broken.
No. No, they're not meant to be broken. So then here's third and 7. So again, if it's 3rd and 7, and I'm having to keep last 3rd and 7, I had to keep 7 guys in to protect because of the pass. What's another thing I can pull out of my arsenal is the screen. So here's a screen I don't think they've showed all year really. Is they're going to slip Wilcox out, and if we start it here, at worst, let's say the corner doesn't run with him. You're going to get him to the safety probably. Then these 2 are coming out. So you probably have these 2 or these 2, right? And if the corner runs with him, well, now I got an extra dude, right? That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So right here,
I'm going to guess that doesn't happen.
Right here, I don't know. I don't know if I don't bypass this guy, if I just take him right now, and then let this guy adjust his track, I got a pretty good play. Instead, I leave him, and now this guy's on an island because I got to really sprint out there. Whereas if I block him and then let this guy lead out in front, well, now I got a really good play. Because where's the linebacker that I'm worried that I can't really block? Where does he go? He goes this way. So right here, first of all, I'd have him pinned right there. Let this big dude lead up for me on a corner. The corner's not going to want any piece of that. But instead, you get a tackle for loss.
Okay, so first of all, good job by. Can we give Jordan some credit here for some eye discipline to move that linebacker to the
and even
field side?
Took his little quarter roll.
But then the other problem is that ball's got to get there right now.
I mean, the real issue is like they got to block this guy. I mean, the throw. I mean, could it be a little bit better? But that's really nitpicky. You want them to invite the people upfield, get the ball over his head. Once he throws a catchable ball, really, his job is done. If it's not, unless he's throwing like a punt, 15 feet in the air. That's not. It's really if nothing else changes on the throw and they block this guy, it's probably a really good play. Because look, here's your linebacker. It's basically a race between him and Wilcox. Well, guess what? I got a big lead. But unfortunately, I don't block that guy. I pass him up. So that play goes for a loss of 4 instead of maybe a really big play.
Go back to basically when I can't tell who that is, but when he could block him, would they call? I apologize. I'm not familiar with how offensive pass interference works when it comes to screens, but would he get called for offensive pass interference if the ball's thrown there?
I think if the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, you can block downfield.
Okay. Yeah, you're good here.
Okay. As long as Wilcox catches it behind the line of scrimmage, which he does because he gets tackled almost immediately
5 yards back,
for a 5-yard loss.
Right.
Yeah. So as long as you're behind the line of scrimmage, you're good. So this is one that's like, it's just got to be, okay.
And he's looking right at him too.
Even if it's like all week in practice, I've gotten the corner. Well, this is where you kind of want to have this is like a, not to say that he has a low football IQ, but it's like a football IQ thing that, okay, I'm not going to bypass a guy. We can adjust. I'll take him, and then this guy can come clean up. This is the most important, right? A lot of times you'll hear coaches say, most dangerous. Right now, he's most dangerous. So don't bypass him. I bypass him, and the play's dead. So here's a little Jacquez Evans. Doesn't? No. Yeah. Right?
Jacquez, yeah.
Here's another one where if I don't get beat inside right here, I think he ended up having to come out of the game, so I don't know if he kind of re-aggravated this. He came out, I think, this is his last series, so he may have kind of re-aggravated and been trying to play through that ankle. But if they get that blocked, they go down here. He's one-on-one, and they're going to wrap the guard inside. There's a lane there. If I don't have to worry about that, and I can just hit this right here, there's a tiny lane I might be able to squeeze through. But I get tackled by the
your jock strap is on the 24-yard line. I mean, come on, man.
And there's also this, which I think you're going to have to do, is this is 2-on-2 out here. You're going to have to throw this. He's going to have to throw this, which I think they try to do later, but he's got to see, okay, numbers, I can throw this. Now, you still kind of get what you want because he leaves. So he's probably kind of looking, is he leaving, or if he stays in there, maybe I throw it. But it's close. I mean, if I get that one, there's a little lane there, especially you can see kind of once the blocking kind of clears up right there. This guy might be your second most explosive runner after Joyner. He can hit this thing 100 miles an hour and maybe crease it. For a touchdown, maybe not, but for a big play at least to get you going when you're only down 4. And this is where you're missing. This is where you kind of miss even more in the run game. This is where you're really missing Sands and Cronkite right here. Again, I think this is where Jennings. I think this was his last play. He looks like he's trying to kind of get out there. And it's almost like he's pulling up already because he gets pushed into the quarterback. And then you actually get tackled by 2 of your own players being used as human shields.
Seems less than ideal when they're not blitzing. Oh, actually, they did blitz here. It looks like they were on fire.
Which isn't great. So I think this is where you kind of really miss, you really miss Cronkite and Sands right here. They were pretty good stepping up in there. And now you get pushed into the quarterback, not only the back, but your left tackle. So that's not great. So if you're wondering why maybe Mitch Wilcox only had a couple targets, well, yeah. they had when he went out to pass, this happened a lot, or when he had to catch passes, this happened quite a bit. So
again, this is totally Jordan McLeod's fault, completely 100% his fault there. That he's got to, I'm kidding. How are they gonna do?
You need to phase through somebody else's body like Nightcrawler, and then complete the pass up.
And the worst part is
one.
Sorry, but it looked like they had the right protection. It looked like everything was right.
They just got
the players suck.
Well, they just got man. I mean, you're down to you got Jennings, who's normally a good player, but he's hurt. He's hobbled. And then you're on your 4th or 5th string running back.
Because I think that was Sariki that was the running back there. And God bless him.
Yeah,
Sariki's, I think, our 5th. He's a tiny guy.
Yeah, it's not. And so I put this on here. There's not much to the play. The play.
Well, hold on 1 second. The most important thing in this play is right now here in the bottom right corner.
Yeah.
Which is that Memphis has 161 yards passing.
But let me show
with 2 minutes left. And they have another drive coming because they're going to score again before this half is over.
But let me show you just so you can understand, when we say that, hey, maybe people don't believe us that when we say, hey, USF's just not really super explosive on offense, they don't have a lot of explosive players. And, we have commenters that say, oh, yeah, they do. There's plenty of players on this team to go. All right, so here's what Memphis thinks about them. You got 2 receivers right here. He's not even going to look at him, and he's going to play in here. All I should be doing is turning and throwing to this guy right here. And then if you do this to UCF or Memphis, this guy's going to catch it and just smoke everyone on the field. You better cover it. But here, look, he's on the hash. Look where the hash is. Look how far away these guys are from the hash. And everybody's like, all right, we'll play 1-on-2. You'll catch it. We'll rally and tackle you for 10 yards. No big deal. I'd rather have an extra guy in the run game.
If that was Rodney Adams and Tyree McCants on the field side over here, that is a touchdown 200% of the time.
That's kind of This is kind of just so you can kind of see why it's tougher to pass. Is because all right, whatever, throw it out there, do it, and then that's when your run game gets squashed because after they basically say the first couple of drives they play off and they're like, all right, never mind, go ahead and throw it out to that guy. I mean, that's kind of just shows you kind of what other teams are thinking. And then here's a screen that was blown by the offensive line, but we're trying to kind of get through some stuff here. And then this is the final play. I didn't catch the beginning, but this is basically 3rd and 5.
Hold on, Seth. Can we back up? Can we see how the screen got blown there?
Sure.
All right. So
he's gonna.
Okay,
he's
let
gonna
me run this. Okay.
He's gonna come out. And these two are coming out.
Yeah.
All right. So. And he's going to upfield come back. So I got 2 for 2. He's going to the corner. Well, he's dropped, so adjust. I got 2 for 2. My eyes are out there. Instead, let's not block anybody. Oops. He's looking back. He's like, oops, I should have got that guy. Probably take a flatter path, and then McLeod's like, "Holy crap! What is happening here?"
Where are these people running? Where are they going? Where is look at Atterbury's line here. All right, right guard.
You want to be flat.
Here we go. All right,
good right here.
Let him go.
Good throw by. No, you want to be flat.
Yes,
it's not bad throwing by, not flat, but this is like you're thinking flat the whole way, and for some reason he pops there and then comes back. It's just, just stuff like that. It's just, I'm going where maybe he lined up instead of thinking, okay, where's he going to end up?
That's a DUI route. That's like cops.
Wayne Gretzky, right? What do you say? You got to pass where they're going to be, not where they are. It's that kind of thing. You got to block. You got to go block where they're going to end up, not where they start off. You got to understand. So that's what that was. And then I think I thought this next play was kind of the epitome of what not all your problems, but some of your problems are. And this is not to pick on Bryce Miller, who is a really good player, really great. He can usually get himself open, but he's going to struggle getting open against man coverage because I think he would even admit to you that he's not the fastest guy. He runs great routes, but he's not very explosive. He's your classic kind of slot receiver that can kind of work in between the zones and kind of find the holes in the zones.
Before we even go down here, I think this entire we all agree that Bryce Miller should be on scholarship. Like we're all 100%.
He's had a great. He's been probably your best receiver all season. He's had a great year. This just I think you may be seeing why he was initially got passed up and people didn't because people just looked at the initial physical thing. That's just the straight speed instead of kind of seeing the technical prowess he has and how good he is at running routes. But it gets tougher when they play man coverage. So he's kind of got a deeper out. He's just going to run a speed out. So he's kind of this play gets started late, but this is a linebacker, I'm pretty sure. So I thought this play was kind of a microcosm of kind of the game and the difference in the teams here. If they try to cover one of the Memphis slots with a linebacker, that guy would just torch the dude and have a lot of separation, I'd imagine. Right here, I mean, he almost runs up his back. The ball is not a great throw, but possibly catchable. But there's just no separation here. And then in the pocket, your left tackle is already beaten.
I was just going to say, I should not be seeing the number 77 staring at me when the ball gets thrown, because that means you are.
And then we got another, and this is a 3-step drop, I think. So there's something has gone very poorly, because you have a lineman chasing and another one kind of a lane on a 3-step drop. And then you get the ball out. You obviously have someone in your face, so it's not going to be a perfect throw, but it's catchable. No separation, and then you drop it. And that's why you didn't convert a lot of third downs last week. So I thought that was
I think that's a great play to encapsulate kind of what we've been looking at.
That's kind of the problem, that they're just missing a little bit of explosiveness on offense. I think they got, like, Bryce Miller would be a great compliment to, I don't know, like
Latrell Williams
type. Or, maybe Latrell Williams. Or, a guy that's really explosive. You have him on one side, you have Bryce Miller on the other side. Now, basically, if you go man, I can kill you with this guy on the slot over here. If you go zone, I'm going to kill you with Bryce Miller. And, if you try to match up one of your worst guys on Bryce Miller, he can take advantage of that. But, you're not getting any separation. And when I don't get separation quickly, and I'm not able to protect for a long time for stuff to get open, that's when you see kind of what happened last week, where they obviously didn't throw for a lot of yards. And then when you have chances to make plays and you drop the ball, then it's just kind of all compounds to that 44-yard number, or whatever the final number was. It's kind of a mixture of things. It's not necessarily just one issue. So that was the final play. So that's kind of it for the Memphis game.
Yeah, it sucked. Burned the footage.
I mean, there's stuff to take from it, but a lot of it is,
No, there isn't.
I think this game was lost in recruiting. So
I was about to say that exact thing, actually, which is funny enough. I mean, it's clear as day that, and I don't want to make excuses, and I think Bell mentioned it in his press conference when he got here, and even on the podcast. I mean, there's a difference between a coach saying, I need to get my guys in here, and a coach saying, these guys just don't fucking run the system. Like, we don't have anyone that can make separation. We don't have any offensive lineman that can consistently block and get that good football IQ. And God knows we don't have a quarterback right now.
And at the time, and I think, I'd be interested to see him fully healthy with a better complement, but I don't know. He may get recruited over at quarterback. You may have somebody come in and one of these other guys he gets recruited over, which happens. But just kind of thinking back on, like, the beginning of the year, it's really interesting to think now, and maybe maybe you guys realize it, but I was thinking about it a different way. The fact that you had two running backs moved out to receiver with Johnny Ford, and Kelly Joyner was initially listed as a receiver. Well, what do those guys both provide? They provide some explosiveness, some wiggle.
Explosive plays, right.
Mm-hmm. Some explosive, some wiggle, some ability to separate. So I think at the beginning of the season, we were thinking more like, oh, well, that's, now I thought, okay, well, that's because, they want to get their best personnel in the field as much as they can. So they want to, if your tight end's one of your best, you don't want to go two backs a lot. So move Ford out to receiver, and you can go a tight end, keep Cronkite in, and you still have Ford on the field. And then Joyner's would be another guy. But what I think it really was, okay, we've only got two guys that can possibly play that position that are explosive. I don't care if they're running backs. We need to move them to receiver because we need some explosive players out there. And so we didn't really get to see a lot of it.
So here's the thing. I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't know anything. I cannot confirm nor deny. Johnny Ford's played 3 games this year. He could play on Saturday or on Friday and not burn a red shirt. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just saying this team with Johnny Ford and Kelly Joyner on the team looks a heck of a lot better. I mean, it doesn't fix your offensive line problems, but you know what? You can get the ball out quick to those guys in 3-step drops or in screens or in whatever, and possibly.
Well, yeah, and then just you have to think of it like this: if that's Johnny Ford, if they're running the stack and Johnny Ford's the second guy, are they only put one guy out there? No,
absolutely not. No way.
They're taking somebody out of the box, and if you don't, well, I'm just going to throw it out to him. We'll put Wilcox and Ford on the same side and throw it to Ford. Good luck. Wilcox will decimate the corner, and now what are you going to do? You got to take somebody out of the box. Right
If
now,
Ford
they're
plays-
like, all right, whatever, throw it out there.
If Ford plays on Friday, Kerwin Bell's been playing Galaxy chess all season, and we didn't even know it.
He's just
Dude,
they're holding him back. They just want to make sure he got the red shirt. They're going to break him out, win the game, and just everyone will be happy going to the end of the year.
When USF wins by 40 on Saturday or Friday, we'll all know why. All right, we're going to get out of here because we got to get a podcast going. Seth, this was terrific. I wish it had more negative plays than positive plays because this was one of the worst offensive performances in team history, and we showed way too much of the good stuff. But I think we had an appropriate amount of bad in there.
A lot of the bad plays looked a lot alike, so just extrapolate the bad ones to 5 or 6
for the entire
times.
Second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter.
They all looked alike, so I just kind of grabbed I grabbed some.
Don't slander his name.
Kirk Rigel. Yeah,
it's Kirk. You
Rigel's
fucking heathen.
He's showing us the cannon. He's got to show us the wheels now. He should have taken off.
We were at Navy. You were with me at Navy. He looked competent there for a drive at the end. We're like, okay, this kid, that's pretty good.
He ran well against ECU's.
Heck yeah! All right, guys, we gotta go. We're gonna wrap up the podcast. Thanks for Robert. Thank you, Seth. Go listen to the podcast now, and we will. If you are a true diehard Bull, we will see you on Friday in Oviedo. And if you aren't,
have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.